Hi guys, hope you're well and welcome back to the Just Joy podcast. I'm your host, Tali, and here's where I talk about myself, my hobbies, and other topics, as well as self-improvement on my terms. So just keep doing what you're doing, or sit down and relax with me as we talk about it. Today's topic, as you've probably read, is all about lessons and reflections from 2025 and things that I want you to know for 2026. Okay, so the kind of theme that I was thinking about for this episode was about a new year, new opportunities, and just some of the important moments from 2025 that I don't want to forget about. Also, I hope you guys are liking the video format. I'm going to try to do more of these types of podcasts. I'm just working on getting back into editing because it's been a little while. It's been a minute. We're at episode 4 already. How cool. And if you haven't listened, you should check out episodes 1 to 3 and hear what I have to say on those topics. Also, if you're not following the Instagram, you should. You really should be there for updates. That way you can connect with me and be involved in the podcast. So if you have a question or want advice, you can send a message there and I will try to get back to you. But the Instagram is at justjoy.pod, and there's no capitals, no spaces. It should also be in the description below. And if you're liking this kind of content, you should share it with a friend. I hope these lessons are really insightful. Okay, lesson 1. Friends come and go, but what you need to focus on is how do you handle it and what do you tolerate. So for this one, I would say I did lose one of my close friends from high school. We just kind of weren't on the same page anymore, and I just felt that she kind of wanted me to stay as I was in high school, like not really changing, not really developing that much. And what I found was I also wanted a kind of friend that would let me grow and also let me talk about my interests and what I was passionate about and my goals. It was kind of more one-sided and about her. So she's still like a really great person and I totally wish her the best. But sometimes you have to let people go and kind of understand, okay, what is that limit for me? Like, will I tolerate friends that don't call and don't check in? Or do I tolerate friends that are present and intentional? Do I tolerate friends that will be mean and just talk bad about other people? Or do I tolerate friends that are uplifting and try to see the goodness in others? That kind of goes into lesson 2. Boundaries are for your own good. So sometimes it can be hard to set limits and tell people, I don't want to do this, or sorry, I can't be around you if you're going to always complain. You just kind of have to set your limit and be stern about that. That could be with a friend, a family member, someone you're dating, and it's not easy at all, but it's a good place to start where you can tell people what you'll accept and what you will not. Number 3 is learn how you can cope to manage issues. Some ways to cope that aren't really the healthiest is probably shutting people out, or if you're trying to handle a situation, sometimes people walk away, but you also have to come back to the person and say, okay, in a few days, in 2 days, I'll come back to you, we could talk it out, or just give me tonight and then tomorrow morning I'll tell you what the problem was for me. But you definitely don't want to ignore the person, and communication is the key. So I'm also working on that for myself, because sometimes I don't really want to communicate, even if it's the best thing to do. If you see me looking around, it's just my notes. I came prepared, okay? That's something else I'm hoping for 2026, you know. Just being ready for what comes. So, yeah, try to manage issues in a good way, and that could be maybe writing out your feelings and then telling someone, or it could be like having the time to cry and just taking the rest of the afternoon to feel what you have to feel, and then the next day going back to your responsibilities, your work. Sometimes we just need a bit of a break from what we have to get done. Number 4 is, I guess this could apply to guys as well, but don't let a guy or a girl distract you too much from your ambitions, your work, your travel, you know, just what you want to do for yourself. And don't let someone at all to change your confidence from high to lows, because you only really have yourself all the time. That is, I think, a really big deal. Like, if you have someone, you know, they should be adding to it, not subtracting from it. So yes, keep that in mind, and your future is up to you to mold and create. You get to decide who you let into your friend circle or into your life, and if they start changing you too much into like a bad person you can't really recognize, or someone you never wanted to be or intended to turn into, then you might want to reassess and evaluate if that person really means the best for you. Number 5, one of my favorite points, is to have hobbies and try new things. So there's lots of different hobbies out there you could find on YouTube. I could do like a whole episode just on that if you'd like. And some of the ones that I have or want to start are reading more. I want to start clay art, which is like you mold clay into magnets, or it could be into a bag charm. Some people do clay bracelet charms. Other people have made vases for flowers, and it's pretty cool. There's a lot of creative ideas out there. I've been coloring a bit more. I kind of already do that for work with kids. I was helping with a kindergarten class, and that's what they like to do. They just color, they cut things out, they paste it, and sometimes you gotta go back to those innocent little ways. You could also have more logical hobbies if you'd like. Some people do Sudoku or crosswords in their free time. Other people do dance or Pilates. And yeah, I would suggest, if you're always on your phone, or if you can't really seem to figure out what to do when you're bored, that you try a hobby. Number 6 is money isn't everything, even though people say money makes the world go round. This just kind of means, yes, go after your money, go after being successful in whatever terms that is for you, but also that money can't really lead to like true happiness and purpose. So kind of take that with a grain of salt. Like, try to be too ambitious and push everything else out of the way. Number 7, enjoy the little wins, clap for yourself, give yourself the gifts, go outside alone more, and get to know yourself better. Also, wear that outfit that never sees the light of day. Like, don't just leave outfits in your closet to like stack up and not wear them. Try to kind of be mindful that before you go shopping, to try to see what you can pair together from your own personal closet. So this one's a great tip to enjoy the little things and romanticize just your everyday life and routine. Try to notice the details of your life instead of kind of complaining or feeling like, oh, I have to go back to work again, or wow, this exam is just taking up all the life of me. Try to think about ways you can make it more, I guess, interesting and positive outlooks. Also, if someone's not giving you a gift or a card or can't spend time with you, maybe go out, get yourself, a drink, a matcha, a tea, hot chocolate, or buy yourself a little gift if you have some money. You can get yourself like a new skincare routine, or get a scrapbook, get a book to draw. I have a new book that I'm going to use for maybe some sketching, maybe some painting. I want to do a little bit of more creative hobbies. And you never know what you may like unless you try it out. Number 8 is don't stay with dramatic, unhealthy people that often gossip, because if they likely talk about other people to you, then they'll talk about you badly when you're not in the room. So you want to make sure your circle is someone that you trust, of course. And number 9, how you act and your body language speaks before you do. One little thing that I'm trying to change is my posture and just talking a bit slower so that people can really understand what I have to say, not trying to rush, because what I say is important and there's no need to try to, minimize it or water it down into a simple sentence if it needs to really be a paragraph or a few sentences to say. So just remember that first impressions still matter, and if you do your best to look good and feel good, and that your actions are calming and reassuring, nice to be around, then if you have that good energy already, then that's already a good stepping with your good foot forward. Number 10, small circles over being popular. I also have a bit of a story time about that. So you should remember that your small circle is really important, and not to dismiss your acquaintances or friends that you don't see as often. They have a lot of meaning that they can bring into your life, and it's not really about being the most popular or having a bunch of people to like you, because that's honestly really exhausting too. And you don't have to make this big impression. Just kind of be yourself and find the right people for you. There will be people that really love and admire your glow, and you're not going to have to change that for anyone else. There's also this saying that's been going around online about you may be the most beautiful shade of cerulean blue, but if someone doesn't like blue, then there's nothing you can do about that. There's always going to be someone out there that doesn't really like you that much, but it depends on what do you think on, what do you focus on. Are you going to focus on the people that couldn't care less, or are you going to focus on the people that put you first and value your time and your energy? So that brings us to number 11. Stick with your core beliefs. You do not need to reinvent yourself every other week. Even though social media and a lot of these people online that are really rich and successful kind of say you have to change yourself up and glow up, or dye your hair, fix your closet, wear high-end stuff. It doesn't really make you a better person if you're different and changed every month. It just matters who you are on the inside, and sticking to your core beliefs just means, keeping what's important to you as a priority, not losing yourself, basically. So if you value honesty, if you value being someone who supports charities and the poor and help people that are less fortunate, and if you believe in justice, then don't let anyone sway you into thinking otherwise and into being less of a impactful person. Hopefully you get that point. Number 12 is boring breeds creativity. So this kind of goes with less screen time being admirable as well. If you do get bored, if you have an hour to yourself and you're not scrolling through other people's thoughts and ideas and advice, or how they design their rooms and how they live their life, then you have a bit more time to focus on what really feeds your soul and what you really like. So, for example, I've seen like a lot of room decor and ideas, but sometimes when I just sit alone by myself and think about what do I want my room to look like and what do I want to add to it, I kind of come up with these different ideas that I haven't really seen online, or that is a mashup of maybe 3 different aesthetics instead of just one. And it's more valuable when you can take time to critically think and come up with your own ideas rather than just piggybacking off of what some famous YouTuber has said, or making your room exactly like a popular TikTokers, or just following the cottagecore aesthetic because that's what's trending. But really think about if this is how you would want to be, or if these creative ideas are what you actually are connecting with, or if it's just one of those trends. Number 13 is working out in a fun way that helps to feed your body, your mind, and your soul. So for me, that would be a bit more of Pilates, on the mat workouts, weights, and just doing like cardio dances. I like the 2000s, 90s ones. They're pretty cool. And if you just find something that works for you, like if you like to bike, then go out biking when it's warm. Or you can go to an indoor track and do some running. Because if you are honestly just doing a workout that like just sucks your energy and you just feel the worse after, then that's not really something that you're gonna keep challenging yourself to do. You're just gonna quit on like week 1, and you're gonna kind of feel like you're letting yourself down and not reaching your goals. So start small. Start with maybe some stretches, and keep in mind that this should be fun as well as help you. You can also like search about like how to help your health and what kinds of exercises you should do for your body. There's a lot of information out there in the Google universe. Number 15 is nerd out. So what I'm basically saying about that is to talk about what you're actually interested in, to share your deep thoughts and thinking, and don't just act like you don't care. Like, nonchalant, out of the window, get out of here. You should be somebody that doesn't just pretend that nothing matters, but find what actually matters and express your hobbies, your shows, ideas. Be joyful out loud, and don't think that like if you laugh weird, or if you love animes, or if you're the biggest like engineering fan, big into architecture, that doesn't really make you cringe or weird. It's actually freeing. Oh, sorry if the light's changing. This is just what happens with the natural lighting over there. So yes, you should find that community that's going to support you in your unique interests and plans, not someone who's going to put you down. Like, I really don't like people that just bash other people's interests. Like, why do you have to be such a hater? Number 16 is making a list of offline ideas and finding things that'll make you forget that you have a phone, in a way. You know, if there's someone calling and it's an emergency, obviously you need your cell phone, but to try to be distraction free when you can, and look into ideas of things you've never tried. Maybe you should go to a local jazz club or a karaoke place, or do stand-up comedy for the first time. Or you could go to the library and pick out a book without being influenced by online, just picking out something that's available. Because if you're always on your tiny screen, this is including me, then you're kind of missing out on some things. Like one time I was just on my screens for a long time and I just missed the sunset. I wasn't even able to see it. And it's just like a little thing like that. The 17th point, nearly there. There's a few more until we get to 26, but I'll try not to blabber on. You should read, listen, or learn and improve yourself in some way. This could be 10 pages of reading, or 5 minutes of a lesson for French, or Portuguese, or Japanese. And it really adds up when you do these little lessons. So I want to try to learn just some basic Spanish. And if I could do that a bit every week, that would be really exciting, actually. Number 18 is to value your family and your hometown, because you may not always live there and life goes on. So just think about your experiences in the past 2025, Maybe you could have went to go visit some family. Maybe you can call your family more. You could also plan family get-togethers if you have like a lot of people. Maybe you can do once a year get-together. It doesn't even have to be outside the country. It could be just you go to a local restaurant or you get a Mandarin dinner all together. And yeah, try to appreciate your hometown. Like maybe you think where you live is boring and uninspiring, but at some point you're not going to live there and you might move out, or you just may need to expand. Maybe you might travel more and not see your close friends and family and classmates as much. So just being appreciative is my tip for this. Number 19 is to make new friends or have different circles. Because yes, it's good to socialize, but also you don't really want to put that pressure onto one friend. If you're always talking to Janie down the street, then that's cool, but Janie has her life and her family and other things to deal with, her own conflicts. So it's good to have a few different friends, maybe some from school. If you go to church, you could have different church friends. Maybe you might have a few from work. But also, if you only have one group of friends, you don't have a bunch of circles, you don't really open up to that many people, that's totally acceptable too. And it just is a reminder that you should kind of put yourself out there, be that friend that you're looking for, and keep an open mind. Maybe somebody that you've never met is going to be like your closest friend. Trying to be open for like conversation, or maybe getting to know people that you never really thought you'd be close with. Number 20, tour your local area. So go to different events. There should be some free ones nearby you too. I want to go cafe hopping and try like all the cafes nearby me. So hopefully I'll get to do a bit more of that in the coming months. And yeah, it can be really eye-opening. You could be like, wow, I never knew we had a Korean barbecue just 10 minutes away. Or, oh, I went to this boba place, but I've never tried the strawberry popping boba, and now it's my favorite one. So it could be something along those lines. Number 21 is personalize your things and your room. So something that I want to try to do is like have little things that have personal touches. Like maybe you put stickers on your computer, or you spray painted your makeup bag. You could also have like a phone charm that no one else really has, or you do your nails a certain way that you haven't really seen that much of. It could also be like changing up your room to really fit your emo aesthetic. So whatever that may look like for you, just try to have things be a bit more, personal and custom. Number 22, do not accept last minute plans. Like, I've done this a few times, but I always feel like really bad after and rushed. So if you can help it, try not to accept things that are like the last minute, you're being told to do it the day of. And if you learn how to say no and just put your foot down, that is really powerful, and I'm so proud of the people that keep doing that, because you have to put yourself as a priority. And also, it's just really tiring and hard to do things when you're told like the day of, oh, can you set up this party? I need this party set up and I don't have anyone. Or, oh, could you sing for this show? We need someone for our talent show to sing. It's just a really heavy weight. It's not exactly fair to you, because you can't really prepare. Which goes into number 23, be prepared and learn how to move with the madness and like be flexible. Because with work or friend hangouts or going on a date, you don't want to be too uncomfortable with changes, because lots of things can change, like the world keeps spinning, whether you like it or not. Like maybe something happens and your bus is delayed, or for school you get a group mate that you don't work well with and you have to adapt and adjust. Or even with work, maybe your schedule isn't what you thought it would be, and you can only work 1 day a week instead of 3 days a week. So just trying to have a calm mind and attitude when things may not go your way. Number 24 is don't compare yourself to the end of a marathon when you're at the training level or beginning of the marathon. So if you're at a different life stage than everyone else, or lots of people that you know, that's okay. Everyone kind of has their own path and timing, and if you were to be at that level, maybe you wouldn't have been ready for it. Like if you only have the skill level 5, then you wouldn't really be ready for skill level 10 challenges. So everyone's kind of at a different stage, and if you're pinning yourself against someone and like comparing yourself against somebody else, you're not really recognizing the greatness in yourself, and it just kind of steals your joy, as that common saying goes. Alright, number 25, don't keep your feelings or conflicts to yourself. It's like if you drink poison and you expect the other person to die, that's just really foolish. And it's the same as holding in your anger and your resentment, because when you hold on to it so tightly, it's just like hurting yourself, and the other person may be oblivious, not even knowing about your pain and your hurt or trauma. So it's good to talk things out to someone you trust, write it out as a letter to yourself or to someone else that you may not talk to again. And yeah, I think it's very important to figure out what you're feeling, to reflect, and even if you have a therapist or a professional like a caseworker that can help you out, then do your best to be honest with them. And 26 is to embrace your inner child. So there's no limit for fun or whimsy, no matter what some of these annoyed adults may tell you. Some people are just kind of sticks in the mud, but it's best to be your unique self and to also do the little silly things that are fun to you, things that are goofy or maybe make sense to no one else but you. Whether that's like going on kids' roller coasters, or if that's painting and drawing cartoon characters, or selling antique dolls. There's always going to be someone that judges, but you don't have to listen to that judgment. And you don't have to be a copy, because real deal genuine people that are authentic, they feel more close and like connected to people. You don't want to be that person known as someone who just does what majority says or follows all the rules and is societally impressive to everybody. Like, you're not really gonna be liked by everyone, and you don't have to say what everyone wants to hear. You can just say what you really think and what really is in your heart. Okay, and that is all the lessons that I'll be sharing for today. Woo, we got through 33 minutes. Pretty good. A few ideas that I have coming up are going to be about like advice, time management, what I've learned from college. We could do something like that maybe around fall. And yeah, I would love to know what else you want to hear about. And that is all. So we are just going to finish off with a new little segment, a new section that I like. It's the end of the day or end of the pod quote or question to reflect on, something to think on for the end. So today's question is, what do I love about my life, and how can I show love to myself? All right, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.